Ryan, welcome to take one of the our inaugural fireside chat.
Thanks for having me.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, sure. I am Ryan Taylor, Global Head of Travel with independent oil and gas operator Harbour Energy.
Well, thank you very much for being part of this. So, take me back. We've been working together about 9 months. Take me back to the beginning. What was it? What was your data situation like before you brought in a third-party data experts?
So yeah, as you know, the role that I have was created. I've been with the company just over 12 months. No one was looking after travel previously. I was brought in to consolidate, streamline, and improve the travel program. But we had multiple agencies, lots of data, inaccurate data. It was just challenging trying to actually tell the business where we were spending travel on. And in some cases, we didn't really have an understanding on what some of our business units were doing with the data that we had. So the quality was just basically impossible to do anything with or have anything that we could go out to the market. We wanted to go and consolidate and implement a new global TMC, but I had nothing to give them to start
Mm.
that whole RFP process. So yeah, it was a big challenge for us.
Talk to me. How did you go about the process of getting sign off and getting proving to your bosses that it was worth investing some money?
I think that we are a data hungry
Yeah.
organization, and the leadership. I'm quite in a bit of a fortunate position. They see the absolute value in travel, and what we bring as to our organization, not only to move people offshore, but for the
Mm.
corporate travelers, etc. They wanted improvements. They wanted to have an understanding. And when I went and was demonstrating to them that it's challenging to try and give you that baseline, but we will do things in two phases. Phase one is to get an organization that can actually help us clean up the data from all of our different data sources and give us that baseline. That longer term, we will be able to give you workable data that you can action and you can make decisions for the operations, for the corporate center. So they could see the return on investment. It was going to put us in a much stronger position to negotiate. In all honesty, it wasn't a really hard sell, but I understand that in some organizations it can be, but they really wanted that data. And because I demonstrated that we used to try and do things like that ourselves internally and fail.
Right.
That we don't have the resource, neither how do we have the manpower or interest to go and build things on our own. So they could see that long term we were going to be able to start producing data sets that can help the decision make and for help the company, make informed decisions about our T&E
Yeah.
program.
Yeah, definitely. There's and I think more and more organizations down this route being super data hungry, don't just tell me, prove it kind of attitudes. And I think certainly see that. So you kind of, you got a provisional yes, and then you made the decision to choose unlock data. Any kind of insights as to how you made that choice? Or
I mean, you were highly recommended by one of your existing clients who I was a bit envious of the quality of data that she was able to produce within her organization. And I've never been envious about data, but I couldn't do what they could do in their program. But I think as well, when we started that engagement, we are an organization built through acquisition. And we give a lot of autonomy within the business, very entrepreneurial.
Mm.
And we really want to work and partner with organizations that truly value our values. And we felt that your organization was that right fit for us. It wasn't just a one size fits all. This is what we could do. You
Sure.
really listen to, this is my pain points. This is the challenges. This is where I need to get to for phase one. But actually longer term, this is what I want to be able to achieve as well. Um, and I felt that you listened to that and produced a scope of work that was going to get me that result as well. So
Yeah, I think it was an interesting model in terms of I knew we could do something good. Let's just get something up and running quickly. We probably implemented in weeks or
yeah.
days even, and then and see where the relationship sort of takes us. And so 9 months in or so, we're in Romania now.
Yeah.
We've been to some different places, and how would you describe it? Sort of working with us, and how it kind of works in practice.
Well, I think it's great. You, on the other hand, may think of something different because I'm quite a demanding individual. No, for me, it's always been important that, I don't like using the phrase, but, client supplier, I think you know me well enough as well that I look at you and value you and your team as an extension of my team. And, to your detriment, I have you involved in a lot of different things, RFP processes, because I really see the value in the partnership with Harbour and Unlock Data. That if I'm going to make decisions of changing things in the program, I feel that you guys should be part of that. Yeah, we take up a lot of your time, which I appreciate. But I think it's given you the autonomy to work within my business, not me being a bottleneck that
Yeah,
I'm asking you to deliver something or your team to deliver something, but you have to go through me to go and speak to the business units, to people in the corporate center. People recognize that Unlock Data are just an extension of the global travel team. And that for me has been really critical. But equally, my leadership recognize that as well. So when I'm out of the business and, they want a report or they want some assistance that we can't go and self-serve on our own, then it doesn't stop because I'm not there. They can
yeah,
come to you. And that's been
absolutely.
really important. And I think it's demonstrating within our organization. It's the first function that, excuse me, that we have really focused on globalizing, trying to standardize everything. Um, and equally to other organizations that we're partnering with, it's one of the main things and through RFP processes that we work and partner with Unlock Data, and you have to work together and, collaborate together.
Yeah,
And I think it's been a really good, the business has recognized it. It's taken a lot of the challenges of my plate to
yeah,
allow me to then get on and do the strategic part of my role while using the data. So I think it's been a good thing.
yeah.
I don't know how you would feel, Paul.
As these days, but well, I think as you're saying that, mate, I think for some travel managers, or I sometimes think our job is to make you look smart, or the travel or our buyers smart. I think you're a big enough person to say, Um, I don't therefore need to be the owner, like to
No.
be the bottleneck of everything. I'm tr- so I'll be out talking to all different people within your business to get the job done because we want to get we've got shared goals. We're trying to achieve some things. And I think because you're relaxed into that, saying I'm not, I don't have to know everything, and really happy to kind of give some autonomy out to you guys. It helps us do our job better, I think, as well.
Yeah, and I think it's also, it demonstrates our culture
Yeah,
within that organization. I'm really fortunate that I'm given the autonomy to transform and make a lot
yeah,
of decisions for the travel program. But equally, I don't take the credit for something I don't deliver. And my leadership all know that we partner with Unlock
yeah, yeah,
Data.
yeah,
So when I take data to the leadership and explain the areas that I want to focus on or things, they know that that's being a collaborative
yeah.
approach. It's not me
Yeah,
sitting doing it. And I think that's always important for me, whether it's, the data consolidator, the TMC, we are all in it together and
yeah,
I cannot know and do absolutely everything. So for me, that was another, ticking part of the exercise for us that I want to work with a company that you know, uh, you're happy to go and interact within my business, but I'm
mm,
equally happy that you're going to interact with them to get the job done as well.
yeah,
So yeah, it's our culture, and I like the fact that I get that autonomy and flexibility. So I want the
pass
rest
that
of my
on.
team,
Yeah,
whether you're in house or you're a third party, I want anyone that's part of travel to have that.
and I see that in all your relationships and interactions and third parties that you use. It's a fantastic leadership style. So I remember at the beginning, maybe you're not a data enthusiast, but you did say to me the other day that you now beginning to love data. Is that how are we on that journey?
I think, i- i- yeah. Data has never been my forte, shall we say. I need the data to get the job done. I think if I look back historically in my career, I've probably had a lot of wrong, poor data presented to me that makes me nervous going in front of
Yeah, okay,
leadership,
I get that.
which I'm not nervous to challenge the business or the leadership. And you see that
Yeah, yeah,
working with us. But I am when it comes to taking data, and
yeah,
my company are very much based on facts and figures. And I was never, if I'm being totally transparent, I was afraid of the data,
yeah,
of what I was taking to them if they challenge me. You guys have got us as a function, but me as the leader of travel into a comfortable place that I take that data, I'm happy with it, and I actually understand what it is from all the different data sources that is coming in to unlock data, that I can then go to the leadership or to the business unit leaderships to say, these are some changes we need to implement, or, or even calling out good behaviors.
yeah, yeah,
Really happy and comfortable with the data. And I think you've made me realize that, having less data reports and things is actually not a bad thing either. Where previously I'd be like, I need lots of different pockets of
yeah,
reports to
yeah,
put out.
yeah.
Where,
Give me comfort with more and more and more. Yeah,
yeah, where we've got set structure that goes out to the business and a structure that I have to take to the leadership, that I can stand comfortably with that data and speak to them. So I think it's been a confidence thing that
yeah,
you guys have helped me get confident with data, because I'm not a data enthused person, as you would say. But yeah, it's given me the confidence
good.
to stand up to my organization.
Yeah. So we've done all sorts of not strange things, but all sorts of different things over the last 9 months. We've been looking this week at how long it takes to audit an expense claim.
Yeah.
Um, and we've done TMC RFPs and all sorts, which has been really interesting for me to touch different parts of the business. And we're looking at offshore and all sorts of interesting things. What's your kind of idea what the future might hold? What are you going to throw at me next?
Oh, there's going to be a lot. I think we're into phase 2, and for me, it's really the beginning. But I see in the business see the value that we've done so far, and I want yeah, we're in Romania this week, and I've got a fantastic shared services team out here that produce a huge number of reports, as you've seen. I want to take those reports
Mm,
and integrate them with you so that I can actually show my business. This is how much it costs me to run the travel program.
yeah,
Everyone focuses on transaction fees or your management fee. Nobody really focuses on the cost of your expense platform and all the other things. And I really want to take those costs to demonstrate to the business, for someone to go on a business trip, this is how much, the travel and the expense and everything
mm,
costs. This is how much it costs us to run the program.
yeah,
And we're on that journey now to really, truly, when people say, oh, I get the total cost of a trip. Yeah, you're getting the total cost of that business trip. I
exactly.
want to demonstrate the business trip, but how much it costs us to provide that service to
Yeah,
you.
that's right.
And that's for me what has been so exciting this week, that you and the shared services team are getting together and exchange. We've sat in workshops, and
Yeah,
the energy in those workshops today about how can we automate some of the things that the team are doing
yeah,
to
yeah,
provide data into me. But even looking at, like you just mentioned there as well, how much does it cost to process an expense?
yeah,
We were looking at things like, okay, we've got an opportunity here that we can get smarter. And so I think from that element, but also I think the journey that we're going to be on, my message from the leadership is we have to be more efficient in the
yeah,
business. And I recognize that we aren't, and we recognize that. And we do want new technologies, we want AI, and we're now in a position that we can take that data
yeah.
because of the partnership and actually demonstrate this is the cost. And this is where we could have some more efficiencies in that program as well. So
Mm.
I think that's going to be the key things for us. But I'm sure I'll come up with
And
some
next week
other
will be something
things
else. Yeah,
that
yeah.
I'll.
Yeah, see, I think it's really interesting. What is the total cost of travel? And that's, a lot of organizations see that as the holy grail. But we've got to that place. It's like, well, that's not the total cost of travel. That's the
Yeah.
total cost of a hotel and an airline and a meal. But the total cost of organizing everything, and we keep unpeeling new layers and finding more costs and more things. It's definitely different way of thinking about it, but actually really interesting to start drilling down into that a bit.
And I think, another point as well, we were out to RFP for a new TMC last year. Um, you were part of that process with us, which, was critical in my view, that you were part of that. And we had the panel from my team, from various different stakeholders, but having that independent assessment of
Mm,
unlocked data, looking at the cost proposals that were coming in, but then also because we're an organization that's grown through acquisition, we've still got legacy systems that we
yeah,
pay
yeah.
for within T&E. And it was only when we started, you know, I done one of my, Dan, can you help me and look at this for me? And then you came back and said, actually, this is what the cost of your program is. And it just, when I went back to the leadership and presented it to them, they had said, we haven't even thought of that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
again, getting me into that position from the RFP to the selection of the TMC, just having that data that I could come there, but also having an external, and I know that
Mm,
we say that you're part of the team, but having that external looking at the whole program for us, that independent review, it really helped us with decisions as well.
yeah, and I think, well, certainly, obviously you guys made the decision, but just challenging a few things.
Yeah.
Have you thought about that? What about this? Does that really work for you? Is that thinking in line with, because I think, the challenge you often have is you get a lot of different people showering at you from around the business, and just trying to help you question a bit of that as well sometimes.
And that was, from my point of view, so well received because sometimes I don't like to be challenged. Because you've been with us on a journey for the last 9 months, you've started to pick up the company, the culture,
Yeah,
what the
yeah,
business units and things are doing. And you did question me on a few things and challenge me, and having that independent, an outside set of eyes that, it's not business specific to that country, or it's not coming from the
yeah,
corporate center. That was a huge support. And yeah, you're right. The decision was made by us internally about that, but just questioning how we arrange ourselves
yeah,
internally.
yeah,
And I fed that back to the leadership as well. That's why we're going on this transition, that, we're going to be making more changes
yeah,
to our processes and our structure. And it was just so valuable to have that during the process.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And it was good for me to be on, not my normal day job to.
We like
It's
to
good.
keep it, we like to keep you entertained.
Yeah, yeah, but it's good. It's good, and I think, I think all these things, because you ask the questions, they're just, and what about, Concur expense or something? And next thing you know, down a little rabbit hole, maybe exploring something, and well, that's really interesting. I never knew that before. That's how that happened. So I think for me, it's I always like to do new things. It's kind of what keeps me engaged. And I think we've certainly done a few new things, and there's more to come. I see it all the time. Every time we have a conversation, it's like, oh, we thought about this, and then you go, okay, well, let's make it happen. And I think with your organisation, we're quite quick to make. You can get stuff happening quite quickly, which is nice.
Yeah, we are definitely an organization that is not afraid of change.
Yeah,
And we have to be, because we acquire,
yeah, yeah,
many organizations. But what is really good, and I'm very fortunate, and I recognize that as well, is the leadership are behind the travel program, but they challenge me on how I run that program.
yeah,
And a lot of travel managers, you're just left. Nobody looks at your reporting. People, as long as they get on the flight and the hotel's there, and that's
yeah.
it.
Noise management.
Where my management come back to me constantly about, oh, we've been engaging with peer operators and they're doing this, they're using this technology.
Yeah,
Have we thought about doing that? And I love the fact that I've got that engagement. I get a place at the leadership.
yeah,
Bi-monthly, we get a slot where we present what's going on, and every one of them, from CEO down, challenge me. And I like that,
yeah,
I don't have time just to carry on with the day to day. You're constantly challenged, but you're supported to make a difference and make change.
yeah.
And I like that about our culture at Harbour.
I think I think because the way that you're organised as well, we get to benefit from travel experts, from a lot of the knowledge around supply chain. You've got some really fantastic, super bright people who are doing that challenging,
Yeah.
which then helps us reflect on, we've been in travel a long time. get used to some
Yeah.
norms. And it's like, that's a really good way of thinking about it. Actually, I need to change the way we're presenting this. And
Yeah, no,
yeah,
definitely.
I think that's really valuable. Well, Ryan, thanks very much indeed for being on
Always
my
a pleasure.
fireside chatty, whatever it is going to be. Uh, Yeah,
Thank you very
thank
much.
you.